Sure.
So meantime, please provide your details in the chat box. We'll start our class in a few minutes. Okay, so just provide your details in the chat box. We'll start a class in a few minutes. Your email address, your name, your phone number. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss in the coming classes. Just have a look once on this one, and also please provide your details. Meantime, I'm just collecting your details from here. And if you have any doubts apart from these topics, please let me know. So today I'm going to take the demo. I'll give you overview on this one. And tomorrow we'll see a practical session. There are two demos we planned. One is demo 1 and demo 2. Okay. So demo 1 and demo 2. There are two demos we have. First, today's demo, I'll just give you a brief about what is Azure, the services, cloud. We'll discuss that. And these are the bullet points. These are the main points that we are going to discuss in our regular classes. So again, in that we have a sub-modules, subtopics. If we talk about data factory, again in data factory we have different modules, different requirements. Before data factory we have SSIS, very powerful tool. And then the deployments of your SSIS model, then your data factory. So in the data factory, we have again multiple different components, multiple different topics. So that all we are going to discuss in a regular class. Okay. The transformations, the loading part, the triggers concept. So apart from that, if any questions, doubts that you people have, you can ask. Not a problem.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
are we going to have the demo session at the same time?
Yes, at the same time, the same link. That is a
Same
purely
Zoom,
yes.
same Zoom link and passcode?
Yes, same passcode, same Zoom link, and on the same time. So
Okay.
we're going to see how practically. So before going to see how practical, we'll understand what are the services that we are going to work in next coming 2 months, and then how we are going to deal this all services in Azure Cloud. All right. So before going to this start with the class, for there are multiple services that we are going to discuss in Azure. Okay, before going to Azure, let me tell you, as I told you, there are two demos, demo 1 and demo 2. So in demo 1, we'll just have a basic about the Azure. Okay, we'll discuss about Azure and cloud. In Azure demo 2, I'll show you practical example to create a services. Okay, the practical examples to create the services, different services. Different services in your Azure cloud. So before going to this service, let me tell you my background. So I'm working for one of the company called Digital, okay, in Hyderabad. I worked with a company called Wipro, okay. I worked with the IBM. I'm currently working with a company called Digital Assistant Manager. I'm working as team lead as well. In that, I'm handling the back and EMEA region countries. My main project is on telecommunication. I worked on supply chain. I worked on different supermarket projects. So from last 10 plus years experience into IT, I have more experience. But as in IT, we have 10 plus years of experience into IT in complete BA process. Complete BA process. I started working with SQL. Then we moved that into MSBI. And through MSBI, I was working in Azure Cloud. From Azure Cloud, I was into Microsoft Fabric. So currently, I'm taking a classes from morning 7 a.m. to evening 7 p.m. Sorry, it is on 7 p.m. Yes. So we have multiple batches. 7 a.m. I'm taking a Fabric class. 8 a.m. we have the Azure class. 9 a.m. recently we completed Fabric, so we are planned for the Azure this batch. Then in a 5 p.m. I'm taking MSBI class, not 5 a.m. 5 a.m. we have Azure class. Then we have a 6 p.m. the MSBI class, and last class I'm having for Fabric. That is a 1-to-1. 1, 2. Okay, these all are batches. So recently we completed a batch in 9 a.m. slot. That is the reason we planned to be have one more slot for management. So this slot is free now. So we are planning this into Azure batch. In next coming, mostly next week, mostly or Friday or Saturday, you have Fabric also, the demo. We go for Fabric batch in the slot. So as currently, if you want to go for Azure, you have only slot for 9 a.m. Okay. So earlier I used to take on MSBA, but there is one more sir is there in institute. He's taking the MSBA that is a Balaji sir. And for Power BI, Vinay sir is taking. For SQL, Sridhar sir is taking. Or Informatica, he is taking the classes. Myself, I'll take Azure, Microsoft product, that is Fabric, Azure, or MSBA, because these tools are interconnected from basic to higher. When you know MSBA, it is easy to understand the Azure. Or when you're learning Azure, Fabric will be easy. So these are the tools we need to learn based on the requirement in the companies. If our company is working on Azure, go with Azure. If you're looking for a job, then go with Azure or Fabric. Already you are working in existing company MSBA, you want to upgrade your skills, then go with Azure. You already know very good knowledge or you're working it and you want to add on the skills, then add it Fabric also. So any tool you go in a market, it is depend upon the company to company. We need to model ourselves. But one thing you need to remember, at least one tool you need to carry with you when you're going for any interviews or any real time. You need to at least one tool you need to be thorough. Whether it's a SQL, whether it's MSBA, whether it's a Azure BA, whether it's a Power BA, anything. These are the different tools. If I give you, there are many listings there. Tableau, ClickView, Informatica, Cognos, SAP tools are there. Data stage are there. Different tools are there. Why we choose only Microsoft products? These are the Microsoft products. These are the Microsoft. Azure is Microsoft. Power BI is Microsoft. Fabric is Microsoft. Anyone know what is the reason why people are looking only for the Microsoft product? Any reason? Even Microsoft SQL also. Any reason why people or companies are looking towards only for Microsoft product?
Actually, it is easy
Hmm?
to connect compared to other application. Windows is very easy.
User friendly.
Yes, user friendly. Correct.
User friendly, exactly. User friendly. So this is a very important GUI. User friendly
Correct.
GUI process. Even people don't know how to write a SQL statement. It will help you the GUI.
Correct.
People don't know how to develop the report. It will help you to do the develop by using GUI. If you people don't know how to do the data analysis, it will help you for your Copilot. So it will help you your GUI. So there are many such features are there. We can easily adopt the tool even we are non-technical background. So even your non-technical background also, you can at least survive in the company with these tools. It is easy to enter into the IT company. So that is what people are always. I'm not talking about only in terms of for a particular user or particular employee. In terms of in companies also, it is very easy process and very less in pricing in the cloud, and more services are there inside a Microsoft product. More Microsoft product. Yes, whatever it is, whether it's a data factory, whether it's a data. Sure, Venkat, I'll share you the recording. Don't worry. So just share your details. I'll share your recording as well. Okay. I'll show you this also. I'll show you the practical of data factory, how to do, because before going to practical of data factory, we need to understand the reason why you are going for data factory. If you don't know, just learning for, sir, we have a requirement, just I'm learning for the sake of companies using. First, understand the history of why we are going for cloud. Yes, definitely there is Azure is there, there's a Fabric is there, different clouds are there. Why Microsoft? We understand some user-friendly GUI methods, some non-technical, easily we can handle it. Many cases are there. Okay, understand. But what is the reason again why we are going for this Fabric or a Power BI or whether the Azure BI? So before going to data, definitely we focus on data factory. This is also one of the tool, very powerful tool, very demanding tool. Right now, if you talk about Azure, they are asking only data factory. I'll show you the offer letters. So they are only asking for data factory. We are discussing these all topics. In Azure, we are discussing this all service. This data factory is also one of the service. Data factory is just a module. This is a key module of this course. It's a key module. We will focus on more on this one. We'll focus on more on this one. The 70% of this course will focus on this module. 70% we will focus on this module. That is data factory. But apart from the data factory is a one thing. Example trait, this is just one place. To reach this place, these are other things you have to carry. Other things you need to learn to reach to the data factory. Just learning the data factory, just understanding data factory won't work. To understand the data factory is a ETL tool. What is the ETL? Extraction, transmission, extraction. From where you are extract the data. Whether it's a data lake, database, whether it's a data storages, Azure storages, this all we have to learn. When you are dealing with the cloud, then deal with the cloud storages also. You are just dealing a tool, then you need to deal with all the storages. So that is the reason, along with data factory, we will discuss the other cloud services. Other cloud services also we going to handle it. Okay. So before going to data factory, we will discuss what is the previous tool of this data factory. Anyone know what is the previous, how it is came in the market? On top, what is that tool? Before SSIS, before data factory, what was the tool?
The Microsoft ETL tool was SSIS.
Exactly, SSIS. The Microsoft ETL tool was SSIS. Exactly. So Power BI, before Power BI, any tool?
SSRS.
SSRS. Exactly. This is came from this Microsoft BI. This MSBI is a course. MSBI is a course where you have SSIS model, SSRS model, SSAS model. So SSIS is implemented in Azure. SSR is implemented in this one. SSA is again implemented in Azure. And when you know this Azure, this is implemented in Fabric. Simple. People make a confusion on these things. The history, the process. That is the reason people know this one, it is very easy. People know this one, it is very easy. Again, this data factory will come in the Fabric in terms of pipeline. But concept is very same concept. That is the reason we are focusing on Azure. Even for Fabric students, I'll ask always, I'll take a classes on Fabric, but I'll ask them to first learn on Azure. So even if they don't learn, I'll give a classes on Azure. Few initial classes, 2 weeks class on Azure. Then we will go for Fabric. But as per our class, we are only focusing on Azure concepts, purely Azure concepts. When you thorough in this Azure concepts, Fabric is very easy, believe me. I'll show you in coming classes what is the Fabric and all. We'll see some the data is there in Fabric also, how to bring the data in Azure, that we'll discuss by using data factory. Okay. So this is how the background is. You need to understand before going to this one. First, we'll understand the BI tools. Anyone know what is BI? I'm not asking the full form of business intelligence. I want you people to tell me what is a BI and what is a BI actually process. Without that, we cannot start any tool in a market.
It is a reporting tool.
It's a reporting tool.
To collect the data from the background behind on it, and virtualization means sorry, visualization of the report.
You are not describing about BI, you are describing about Power BI. What is Power BI? You are telling that, but you are not telling what is a BI actually. What is the use of BI?
Okay.
Your set is correct. There is some module which comes under BI, but you are mostly pointing to the Power BI, where we have
Okay.
collecting of data and
Yeah.
doing the reportings, doing the analysis. This is comes under Power BI. That is one of the part of BI. That is okay.
BI
But
means I
exactly,
think it's a data movement from the one platform to another platform or something.
correct.
Yeah.
Any other points? The point is correct. Transferring the data from one place to another. So BA is like the same like a chef in a restaurant. So what chef person will do in the restaurant? What is the work of chef? What he will do, the chef person in the restaurant? What is job of chef? He will cook the food, right? He'll cook the food. This is only that we are going to do here in Azure. We are going to cook the data.
Okay.
We are going to cook the data. Whatever the requirements you give me, my work is to prepare the data, prepare the food. My work is as a BI. BI is not only the reporting, BI comes from a lot of things. Reporting is one of the module. That is last part. Before that, I am going to prepare the data. I'm going to prepare the food. Then only I can serve to the customer. Then only I can serve to the person. If I want to cook a biryani, what I required? I required ingredients. I required chicken. I required some masalas. I required some other stuff. I required rice. I required the requirements. I required a place, more important place, the tool where I can design, where I can cook. And then I required to start cleaning it. I need to wash it. I need to put some masalas on top of that. Then I need to go for cooking. That is the same process we do in your ETL, in your data factory. Whatever the data you provide me, whether it is a structured data, whether it is a structured data, whether it is a semi-structured data, whether it is a unstructured data. Structured data means whether it is a CSV file, TXT file, whether it is an Excel file, tab separated value file, any file structure. Semi-structure are something like JSON file, XML file, and similarly our Parquet file, your unstructured format, your Parquet format, or your audio, video, okay, images, whatever the format you provide me, I am going to prepare that data into proper meaningful information. That is called as BI process. So whatever the data you provide me, that data I am going to help you with the proper insights, proper information, proper data. Then only once you provide the information in, so what other people will do, whatever the data you provide with the different formats, because this is how it structures like. So first you have different structures, different format. From the different formats, we do the information. We're going to prepare the information, and from information, we design the reports. From the reports, we are going to share to the business users. Similarly, once you prepare the food, cook the food, then what is your next work is to design on top of that, and then you will serve that food to the customers. That is the reporting part. That is the Power BI part. So before serving the food, before serving the reports, this is all steps we have to follow. Different steps we have to follow that never know by the end users. End users know only, okay, is it designing the reports? That's it. But that designing the reports, how big work is back end, people don't know. That work we are going to do in the data engineering part. Now the reporting part is doing by your co-pilot. Your AI is doing that. That is what there is no more work on data analysis. No work, boys. Now there is no work on data analysis. Remove that from your mind. Power BI is doing anyone. Power BI work is doing by your co-pilot, the AI. But to be in the survive in the company, in the IT next 10 years, at least you need to know what is data engineering process. Data is very precious nowadays. Even for the artificial intelligence, they require data to be processed. To process that big data, they require data engineering people. Okay, we will give the data to the AI people, but for them, this team is required. For any process, data engineering team is required. BI is a collaboration of all the components, like preparing to serving the food, serving the report to the end users. So to provide the information, then only they can take the decisions. So end of the day, the more important is decisions. How proper data, how accurate data you provide to the end user, that is more important or more impact on the company. So that is what, to prepare the report, anyhow, you're going to connect to some databases and you're going to send the data. But to bring that data into the databases, how big work is going up happening in the backend. That work we are going to learn in this process, in this course. That work we are going to learn in this process, that is called data engineering process. Whether you take MSBI process, whether you take through Azure, whether you, this is just a path. People are using the path of reaching to the data engineering. They're using MSBI, they're using Azure, they are using the Fabric. Different companies, they use different process. Okay, what company is using what demanded right now? We will learn that. So to believe me, I have more than 10 plus years experience. I never gone to any other products apart from Microsoft. Because right now I was started with SQL with a monitoring. My initial period was monitoring the jobs, even they're not given any development. From that period to till now, I was working only with Microsoft product. Yeah, there is some data which is there in Cosmos DB, in AWS, Google Cloud and all. We're bringing that, but I never go for learning such products. But in terms of storages, if I want to bring the data from in a Microsoft, I'll bring that. But how flexibility that you have in the Microsoft product, that is not there in any other products. You have a glue in AWS, there is the ETL tool is there. Very tough. I'm not saying tough, but you have to learn that level. But here in Microsoft product, it is very easy. Same kind of requirement you can achieve here with an easy way. Okay. So this is a basic process which I want to tell. Let me show you the end-to-end process. I'm not going to design right now. I'll show you which I explained earlier. So this is a basic picture of Walmart or DMart, however you want, you can understand that. I'm just explaining the process. Your work is last. Your data analysis work is last. Your work serving the report is last. That is was less priority here. Remember guys, less priority, less job. Earlier there was more jobs on data analysis. They're paying lakhs of salary, 25 lakh, 30 lakhs for just 8 or 10 years experience on only on this tool. But now there is asking the collaboration of or having a combination of the ETL. So if one-time development, after that, what you will do? This is just a query. Based on the graphical way, you are sending the report. Okay, you're doing automation, very good. But there is no other job apart from your this one, reporting. So that is the reason. Now, if you're going for any reporting job, they must require ETL knowledge. Without ETL, very tough to do. Any ETL, whether you go SSIS, whether you go data factory, whether you go pipelines in Fabric, anything. You need to have basic one ETL knowledge. Now, to see, this is one example I've given for earlier class people. So let's example, you take your Walmart or DMart. Walmart or DMart. If you see here, what is that? So if you see here, what we actually were doing here, if you go to the any Walmart or DMart, any supermarket, you will observing there is a billing counter. Is there any customer product, whatever the product is purchased, all the information will be captured in your system, right? All the capture will be in the system. It is captured. Whether you do returning a product, inserting a new product, or updating a new products. These all are performing a DML operations, insert, update, delete operations. So that all information depend on the company requirement. They store in the live storages, whether in files. Some companies they use files, like India region people they're using files, they're using the databases, cloud, other storages, depending on company to company. Okay, different places they have a stores. But what my client is asking, in all the places, they always require high level information. They never see which customer purchase what product. Customer, the end users, they want to take the decisions in a country wise, how many sales are there, daily wise, how many sales are there, monthly wise, high level reporting we call. So transactions wise, we never see. Morning 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. What is the transactions? Daily counts. So that is what, by using the tool extraction transformations with all the storages, not only one storage, any format of storage, we extract them, transform it, then that proper data through ETL, again we are loading back to the data warehouse. What is the use of data warehouse? Data warehouse is a place, warehouse. It is a place where you can store all format, all company data or country data we are storing inside one warehouse. So accordingly, from warehouse, we can do the reporting. From warehouse, you can do, again, ETL is required to convert into the data marts. Data marts is something like when you have a data warehouse, all countries data. But I am going to hire only to work on India region data. My reporting is only on India. Other person will work on the UK data. So instead of going for data warehouse, it will be very difficult to do the Power Query or whatever the query you do. That is the reason, again, ETL developer, they design easy way. So your work is to make the reporting people easy way to access the data, not to make it difficult for the reporting peoples. Even you don't need to do a calculations in the report. We are developing a calculations. As a developer, we are developing a calculation in the cubes. We are making a ready to give the access for aggregations, calculations, or you can prepare a summary data and that data can be easily accessed by any other tools. So that is called the process in the ETL. And you can see how many times that we are using it, the ETL. You are using in this process, you are using here process, you are using here the ETL, you are using the ETL here, you are using the ETL here. So this many places that we have to monitor, we have to develop the process, not only just waiting for the data to get it and to process it. So this is the process, end-to-end process, to bring the data from the on-premises or whatever the premises or whatever the sources to end users. Because if I ask you to do, you cannot do that. Power BI doesn't have to store different formats of data. Yes, definitely you do in the reporting level, just for some data, not every day. One time you can do that. Every day you cannot do that. Let's example, I'll take one file only. So if I take this file, where is that file? Fabric. Let's take this file only. So can we load this data in the database? We can load this data in the database, but what is the reason why you are loading this data in the database? That is a problem. Why we need to load the data in the database? What is the reason? To do the easy querying.
Yeah.
To do the easy querying, to do the aggregations, to do the reporting. Everyone can able to easily can access it. But why can't you do analysis here only? Why can't you do analysis in here only, in this file? If I want somebody asking the insights, I want the employee-wise salaries, or somebody wants the country-wise salaries. They want country-wise salaries. Here we have a country-wise salaries, country-wise max salary, country-wise employees they want. Can't we do figure out here? Or somebody ask what is the total salary of India region? Can't we do we require any reporting tool? Do we require any reporting developer? So first of all, why we are loading this data into the database? Can't we do here only? Let example, if I'm good at in Excel, I'll put this data in the Excel. In Excel only, I'll do this operations. What is it? Comma, right? Comma separated. I can put a pivot. I can show you the data, what analysis you want. Tell me we can do in the Excel also. You want the counts of employees, counts of employees. Canada have 8 employees. Can we see Canada having 8 employees? Filter out. This is my total, and there are almost how much? 8 employees. Can you see the count below? Can you see the total sum of salaries? Can we have in the another sheet? We can do the analysis here also. This is the manual work. No, sir, it is not looking good. I want you to do in a graphical way. Yeah, I can insert some reports you want. Which report you want? Tell me. I'll insert 2D, 3D, 4D. Line chart, pie chart, what chart you want. This is covering almost 39%. Canada. Some very less percentages you can see there is a almost blank is there, which is covering almost 1%. The green color which is covering almost UK, which is 20% among all this one. I can schedule, even you can see some of salary, some of count. If I see on salary level, I can get a salary level. If I see on this one, I will get this one count. So I can have multiple options here. Why? For reporting them. Why we are loading for data into the databases. If you have a data here, we can do the analysis here only. Why the reason we are loading here? That is my question.
We are organizing the data and
Organizing the data.
in the
Any other
data
purpose?
warehouse.
Can't
And
be
also like
organizing.
it is accessible for multiple people.
Can't we share the path to the multiple people with this data? It is also organized one. It is also organized. I'll create one shared path. If you want, you can give access to someone in organization.
Yeah, like in database, we have relations between the tables, and we can go with modeling the data modeling.
Yes. We can have a multiple tables. We can have a relationship between. We have RDBMS concept. We have aggregations. We can. But the more important here is the transactions. We can store n number of data. Everyday data. One time I can do the requirement. If you ask me, your data is every day comes millions of records. Excel also max to max support 10 lakhs, not more than 10 lakhs. If you put a 6 lakhs of pivot, it's completely gone. It takes more time. If I work with this multiple data, it's very difficult. So that is the reason on everyday transactions, millions of transactions you get. And millions of transactions to manage in your files, very, very difficult. One time requirement, okay, that is what people who come from the reporting background, they do only one time requirement. They want if they want to schedule, they want data to be there in centralized place where they can write a manage queries, a folding queries they can write. So this is a manual work. This is a manual work. We want to do this everyday scheduling process. Scheduling process means you require data engineering. So you need to go scheduling process. One by one process, automatically report to create, automatically should be delivered. If any system got failed, immediately we need to get an email alert. If any file got failed, I need to get an email alert immediately. So this is the process end to end. Let me show you one example. So practically, I'll show you in the next session. Actually, I have another call also. We'll meet and we'll do the practical in the next session. Okay. So the main concern here is to make the process automated. Even in any of the place got failed, whatever the reason it is, we have to get it fix this one. So if it is fail, I'll show you the fail options also in case how we get an email. So this all we're going to discuss in the regular classes, how we fetch the data from one place to another place. Now we are in the data warehouse. Now after that we have multiple different storages. Okay, in next coming model we have a concept called data lake. So earlier generation was data warehouse. Now we are in the generation called data lake. The next generation will be lake house. So we are still here. We need to understand what is a lake house, what is a data lake. Anyone know what is data lake? Anyone know what is data lake?
No.
Anyone know lake water? General lake, you know lake, what is a lake? What is the use of lake? Lake water? How it is going to fill that lake water? Lake water we have in the Hyderabad. Any other places that you see the lake? Come on, lake. What is a lake? So if you see somewhere, the places, you have many lakes. That lake, what is the use of lake? The lake water will be used in different purposes. The lake water used for different purposes. We can use in industries, we can use for irrigations, we can use for agriculture, we can use for home. We can use in multiple places that lake water. From where you going to get that water into the lake? Into multiple sources systems, maybe from rain, maybe from different places, maybe from rivers, maybe from other places. It comes to the lake, and that lake water we will be using for different purposes. Similarly, we are going to get, instead of water, we are going to get data. The data may come from multiple places. Now we are a situation, we are in the place where the data may come from any applications, many sources. We cannot say that the data is not correct. Any format, the data has to come. So in this place, this place will help you to hold any format of data. Any format, any time, any period. That is what we earlier you maybe heard about the Hadoop concepts. Hadoop is a framework to work on the big data queries. So what is a big data? Big data is just a big data, which having a three V's like velocity, volume, variety, right? So that concept we'll discuss later. So just understand data lake is a place where we hold different formats of data, different types of data at any limit of period. So that is called data lake. What are the different properties inside data lake? Going further, we'll discuss that. And next generation is data lakehouse. The combination of warehouse plus data lake is equivalent to your lakehouse. Okay. So don't worry, I am going to discuss these points in a detailed level again. But remember, this is just a place where you hold the data. That's it. Lake is a big place where we can hold some data, and that data will be used for your operations. You can do your operations like machine learning. You can do the data engineering. You can do the ETL processing. Your data factory you can connect. You can bring the data into data warehouse. You can do the reporting. Even you can do the reporting directly from lakehouse. But it is not arranged one. It is not properly arranged, like how data warehouse systematic process we have. Data warehouse systematic process, proper data, proper required information, proper structure which we required for organization. This is not a systematic. This is the raw data, natural data, raw data, which is not a systematic. Whatever data it is, junk data, whatever data it is, all data will store in one place called lake. That is what I told. The lake water, the lake water may fill that lake from a different places, right? So we'll discuss this in the next class. More interesting topics will be there. So I'll show you on practical. Tomorrow I'll show you how to create a data lake and how to create data factory. Practically we'll see. Okay. Any questions, any doubts so far?